The growing protest movement in Iraq has claimed dozens more new casualties today. The Prime Minister says that he will step down, giving in to public demands. But in the streets, the killing goes on. Security forces shooting down scores more protesters. Foreign Affairs correspondent Nick Schifrin reports on this critical day.
On the streets of Baghdad, protesters today declared victory. They've demonstrated for 2 months, and many gave their lives. They warned that sacrifice would be worth it only if today sparked fundamental change.
We consider this as the first step. We demand the resignation of all lawmakers.
Adil Abdul-Mahdi was a consensus candidate who struggled to deliver promised reforms. In early October, leaderless demonstrations rallied against 15 years of failed governance, unemployment, and corruption, and called for the entire political class's ouster. They also criticized Iran's influence. Today, they burned the Iranian flag, and Wednesday night, torched the Iranian consulate in Najaf. In response, security services have used deadly force. More than 400 protesters have been killed. The violence spread to Iraq's south, threatening to destabilize the country. That's why today, the spokesman for Iraq's most powerful Shiite religious leader, Grand Ayatollah Ali Sistani, spoke to followers and strongly suggested the government step aside.
We call upon the House of Representatives, from which this current government has emerged, to reconsider its options.
A few hours later, Abdul-Mahdi's office released a statement saying he would step down so Iraq could, quote, avoid slipping into a cycle of violence, chaos, and devastation.
The initial response of some security forces or militias to begin to engage the demonstrators with violence really caused things to spiral out of his hands very quickly, and so his remaining in office seemed to have no particular logic to it. It seemed to be a situation where he could not control the streets anymore.
Faisal Istrabadi is an academic and former Iraqi diplomat. He says Abdul-Mahdi's resignation is unprecedented and will spark difficult horse trading in a deeply divided parliament.
You have the same political parties who've been at an impasse for the last year and a half, having to form another government. We are in a state of deadlock, probably for some time to come.
Protesters will be watching to ensure today was the beginning, not the end, of the reforms they demand. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Nick Schifrin.